Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shayla, and as promised, I'm here with the review of Gather Round Homeschool, the Asia unit. Now this is the second unit in year one, and there are 20 lessons, and it goes over a host of different countries in Asia. So just for a little bit of background, Gather Round Homeschool was created by a fellow homeschool mom, Canadian woman. Her name is Rebecca Spooner. And so I think she had been reviewing homeschool curriculums and stuff like that for many years here on YouTube, but has since ventured out to creating her own curriculum. And we're kind of like in our third month of using it. The reason why I love this curriculum so much is that it's so centered around family. So I'll tell you what's included in the curriculum for each unit. Each unit is $50 if you buy them individually and you buy them digitally. With the digital purchase, you receive a teacher's guide and all of the student notebooks, which includes for ages from little kids all the way up to high school. So you've got pre-reader, early elementary, upper elementary, middle school, and high school. Now, you would purchase on their website. You receive the email with a download. Those are yours for life. So you don't have to purchase the unit again when you're ready to reuse it. You just go to wherever you saved it. If it's your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever cloud you have, you pull them down and you can use it as many times as you like. Now, within each student notebook, you will have, I'm just looking at my notes here, you will have a welcome page, and then you've got a scope and sequence, so you can actually see all the things that will be covered in the unit. There's also a space for reading logs, so your kids can document the books that they read, how long they're reading them for, etc. And then within the Asia unit, you're going to be covering science, history, language arts, geography, Bible, social studies, and art. And you'll be able to see right in the scope and sequence the specific things that will be covered there for you. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the student notebook is what I'll show you. Here in the table of contents, you're going to see all of the countries that are covered. As you can see, what I've done here is I just printed out their work and I put it into a 3-ring binder. Some people choose to bind them and all that stuff. I don't have the patience for that type of thing, so 3-ring binder it is. And there's actually a variety of countries. I was kind of surprised, not really because this curriculum is amazing, but I was kind of surprised at the countries that were covered. Some are more notable than others. Obviously, China's covered, Japan is covered, Thailand, but then you've also got countries like Mongolia and Lebanon and Saudi Arabia. So I think it's really nice to have kind of like all across Asia, not just kind of central to one area. So for the notebooking page, which is the first page in for every lesson, the students will either color or draw the flag, as well as find the country on the map, maybe label some things around it, and then also write one thing that they learned. So I think it's really cool. They can go back and actually see and remember some of the cool things that they've learned. This particular unit is not super science heavy, and that's okay because, I mean, the units kind of go from like history, science, and so the science pages, a lot of what they learned is more like basic things about volcanoes, rainforests, things like that. So just kind of like general overview stuff. And I think the least interesting part, my kids are not history buffs, so they really don't care all that much, is like the history section of the curriculum. I just had to like really summarize it for them because they just got disinterested really quickly when talking about all the historical figures. So such is life. Every week there is a memory verse that's included. So if you don't want a faith-based curriculum, we're not interested in that. It's very simple. Just don't print the page. It's not that big of a deal. But I will say the Bible verse pages, that's where the spelling is included. So there's like spelling practice, just a few little boxes. And so that's where your spelling practice is included. If you don't want the memory verse page, then just keep that in mind. Now, let me tell you what my kids loved most about this curriculum. My boys are 7, 6, and 4, and then I have a 3-year-old daughter. By far, the most interesting thing was food. My kids love food. It's kind of abnormal how much they really eat, but it's uncanny. For sure. They love food. They love learning about all different types of food. So we made sure to cover that specific area. One of the things that you can purchase alongside of the unit study is a recipe book. Gather Round offers a recipe book. I think it's like $8 or $10 that you can purchase digitally, and you can even try some of the recipes. There's one from each country. We tried one. And yeah, it didn't it didn't work out, but that is not, it was my fault. I didn't buy the right type of product. Anyway, I digress. They loved the food segments. They also really enjoyed popular destinations. So what we would do is when the destination is covered in the teacher's guide, we would look it up. We would do a little bit more research, look at pictures and things like that. And so I found it was really interesting to watch, especially my older 2 boys. Like, their eyes light up when they see all these different places, and like they're connecting dots and stuff. I mean, because all they have frame of reference for is where we live. So it was really nice to be able to get them a little bit cultured to other parts of the world. One of the places that they really want to go is to the Singapore Flyer. And they also, there's like this cave that they learned about, one of the largest caves in the world. That's now on their bucket list to try. So that's really cool to watch. Another thing that they really enjoyed is learning about all the different animals. So there are several maybe endangered animals or animals that are endemic to Asia. And so they enjoyed learning about those particular animals, looking at pictures, trying to see if they could maybe draw them, things like that. And as I mentioned before, I mean, this curriculum is pretty much open and go. There's not a whole lot of extra prep that you need to do other than maybe getting like writing utensils and coloring supplies. I wanted to do a whole lot more of the extension activities, but it just didn't happen. And honestly, like, I'm okay with that. It'd be a lot going on if I'm honest. And so the good thing is you don't need to have the extension activities to make this curriculum something really nice for your kids. We did do a few, and I am going to make a separate video showing you what we actually decided to do. But you really don't need it. Now, for the language arts piece, and I've talked about this in the North American Birds unit, I still, not that I'm not pleased with the language arts pieces of this. So there's an essay portion that's kind of weaved throughout the entire unit. My boys didn't really particularly care for that. So what I decided to do instead was have them make visual graphics summarizing what they learned rather than writing the paper. And so in light of that, the language arts piece, I mean, a lot of what they learned was mainly like contractions, nouns and adjectives, and that's it. So once again, you know, we're continuing supplementing with the Abeka language books, as well as in addition to math. I can't get my words out today for whatever reason. I keep stuttering. So if this is edited a whole lot, then you know why. Another thing that's important to note about this particular unit is every week there is a highlighted portion about a particular missionary. And so I thought that was really cool, just kind of sharing missionary stories, maybe some of the things that they encountered, and also they're given the opportunity to pray for missionaries that are currently in these countries. So that's something that's important to me as, you know, a woman of faith, something that I want to instill in my kids, like actually thinking about other people and being grateful that we live in America, because there are a lot of freedoms that we have here that are not available to people in other countries. And so I want them to kind of approach their learning with a grateful heart, and like actually have like this heart of gratitude and a heart of compassion for people for Christians who might be persecuted in another country, or missionaries who are serving there, things like that. So one of the things that I love about this curriculum is the Gather Round Homeschool app. This is one of the most amazing apps that I've had for education. But basically what you have is you log in. There is a section for every single unit. And within that unit, there are links and resources given for every single lesson. So what I would do is I cast my teacher's guide to the TV using my Apple TV. And then I can just flip right to the app, and there are YouTube videos and crafts and other websites, Facebook links, things that you can use to incorporate into the lesson. I will say, however, one of the things that's not included that I wish was in there is these videos called Kids Try. And this is like, my kids love this. This was their favorite part. They always ask me, could we do this? Kids Try, I forget the name of the YouTube channel, but they have where kids try different foods from these countries. And I believe, if I remember correctly, there was one for every single country on this list that's covered in Asia. And so the videos are like 4 or 5 minutes trying different foods, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, things like that. And so just watching other kids' reactions, it was hilarious. Like, they had me and my husband laughing. And so they really enjoyed those. We watched those several times. I wish those were included in the app. Maybe they'll add them in one day. But nonetheless, there are tons of other links in there. Learning about animals and maybe some of the different destinations that were covered in the unit as well. There's also a chat section for each unit, so you can talk to, message any other parents who are going through the unit at the same time as you, or people who have done it already, to get tips and tricks and things like that. If you want to check out my review on Gather Round North American Birds, look for this thumbnail right here, or you can click the cards or in the description box below. And also be on the lookout for the video where I'm going to showcase all the activities that we did to go along with Gather Round Asia. It wasn't a lot, it was only like 2, but I'm still going to make a separate video about it because they were fun. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, hiding is overrated. And the next unit is actually space, which I am totally looking forward to. That's going to be super fun. And I actually, like, I'm going to do a lot of activities. I'm going to set it in my mind to do more activities with them. So stay tuned for that. And don't forget, hiding is overrated. I'll see you next time. Bye.